if you have arthritis in your spine, particularly in your low back, it is one of the most treatable areas of arthritis. One of the main things that we need to do though is find movements that feel good. And I'm gonna show you my favorite 5 movements you can do right there on your couch. These have been tested in people that have had back spasms and back pain for years and years and years with no relief. And now they're able to make it through the day and actually do the things that they want to. And I want you to feel the same. But I do want to give you a caveat that we have to be consistent. Just trying these for a couple of days is not going to get you the results that you're looking for. We have to be consistent, and research is actually showing anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. But you want to know what? I'm going to make these as simple and quick and effective for you as I can, so that way these can so easily fit into your day. All right, here we go. Okay, so as I mentioned, these can very easily be done right on your couch. I'm going to show you my favorite 5 exercises that you can do. And if not all 5 feel okay to you or feel good to you, that is okay. I want you to at least take away 2 to 3 exercises that you can start to fit into your daily routine. Okay, so number 1 is actually laying down. So I actually like to use a pillow on this one because a lot of times if you're dealing with back pain, laying flat does not feel very good. So I like to kind of set a pillow here. And now what I want you to do is you're going to lay down on your back and you're going to go ahead and just bend one leg up. And now what I want you to do, this one is more of a stretch than anything, but you're gonna pull that knee up just as far as you can, and then you're gonna switch and do the same thing. Now if this switch is painful for you, just bend up one leg first and then lift it up, bend it, and do this, because sometimes laying in this position puts some stress on your back. So just very softly and gently bend up your legs, and you can even keep them both bent if that feels better, but I just want you to alternate doing a knee hug, bringing it up just as high as you can. It gets you into kind of this bent position. Hold for about 5 to 10 seconds and then relax and repeat. So that's number 1. I usually like to do between 10 to 20 repetitions for that. That one should feel good. Now what I want you to do is you're going to try to tilt your hips down so your lower back is more in contact with the couch. We're trying to kind of avoid this real arched position and come back so you're pushing your hips, almost lifting them up a little bit. I want you to maintain that position of having your low back just somewhat in contact with the couch, and then I want you to lift one leg and then the other, trying to stay as stable as possible right in those stomach muscles. And you're just lifting very slowly, using those core muscles, and I usually like to alternate between 10 to 20. Now, if this feels good to you, you can actually extend one leg, bring it back, extend the other one, and bend it back. Still keeping your core nice and flush with, keeping your low back flush with the couch. Now, if you really are feeling like you're fighting that arching position, I do want you to focus on that and make it just a little bit easier, because if you're really arched but then you're kicking out, then that's not the point of the exercise. Okay, so now from here I want you to roll onto your side. Use anything you need to get here. And I want you to try to bend both legs up just as far as feels comfortable. Now what I want you to do is take that arm that's kind of right underneath you, and I want you just to see if you can lift your hips up into what we call a side plank. So you're gonna try to lift your hips up off the couch. Now it's gonna be harder when you have a softer surface. The firmer the surface, the easier this will feel. So if your bed is firmer, ideally you want to be on the floor, but I totally understand that getting up and down from the floor is no easy feat. So we can work with what we have on the couch. You're essentially just trying to lift your hips up. So you can do this one of two ways. You can try just to lift them up, hold, and then bring back down. Holding for a couple seconds, you'll feel it kind of in those side core muscles. The next progression would be then to try to lift and hold this for as long as you can. Now holding for about 5 to 10 seconds to start, and then working your way up with a goal of about 30 seconds. If you do have some shoulder pain, you will probably have more success on a firmer surface. The soft surface does require your shoulder to work a little bit harder as well, so you can always modify that. If you need to, you can use a pillow to elevate your arm, so that way it's going to give a little bit more support. So working up to about 10 lifts, if that's where we're starting, and then working up to holding about 30 seconds. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna walk your legs off, press up, and then you're gonna go onto the other side. And one thing I want you to know is if one side is harder than the other, that's the side that we need to focus more on. So if your left side is harder, then I want you to spend more time, more lifts, and more holds on that side, because we do want that side to fatigue a little bit, because then those muscles are going to be repaired stronger. Okay, so those are the first 3. So we had the knee hugs, then we had the leg drops, and then we had the side planks. Now the next 2 are actually gonna be in seated standing positions. So the next one of the things that's actually really good for you to start working towards is getting used to being able to kind of bend forward. So what I want you to do here is all you're gonna do is just sit feet on the floor, and I just want you to bend forward very slowly, taking some deep breaths once you reach kind of as far forward as you can bend. And I want you to focus on filling your entire rib cage, your entire back and front with air for about 3 to 5 breaths. And then I want you to slowly come back up. If this is a lot for you to go forward and back, you can also grab a pillow to help with that support, because sometimes it can be harder to come back up. But that is using those lower back muscles, contracting them and relaxing. So I want you just to go as far forward as you can, and sometimes actually bending forward does feel pretty good. So you can even get to the point where you can touch the floor. Now remember, taking those breaths, 3 to 5. Imagine your rib cage and torso is kind of like a soda can or something. You want to fill that entire can 3 to 5 times. Inhale and exhale, and then walk yourself back up. Again, none of these should be inducing pain. If anything, they should make things feel better, feel looser. So if they do, you want to decrease some of the repetitions, decrease how far you're going down to a point that feels good to you. These should make you feel better afterwards and not worse. Now, number 5 is one of my favorites, and it can be very easily modified depending on where you're at. So a lot of times couches are soft and low. I want you to stand up and down, and sometimes getting up and down from a couch can be very hard. One thing I do like to use is a pillow, especially if you have a thick one or one that's a little bit firmer. Don't get those flimsy, soft ones that once you sit on them, they just collapse down. I want you to find one or a couple if you need to that will hold up a little bit. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually move that pillow right underneath you, and you're gonna sit on it. Now notice I'm obviously raised a few inches. Now what I want you to do is just try to stand up and sit down. Now you can absolutely use your arms on this if you do need to push up this way, but I want you to find a height that feels good, and I don't want you to really feel like you have to kind of throw yourself forward. So if you need to, use the right amount of pillows The beds work really good for this too, especially if they're a little bit higher. Now, if your bed is super high and you're practically standing as you're sitting on the edge of it, then that can be a place to start, but we definitely want to progress past that. But using these pillows, I want you to find a height that you can easily stand up and down from, or stand up and down without pain and without having to kind of heave yourself forward. This is where we start, and then we slowly start to take away the pillows. We slowly start to make modifications that do make it a little bit harder. The goal being able to stand up and down without a stack of pillows underneath you. But it takes some time to get there. So stack them up in a safe manner, make sure you're not gonna fall, to a point where you feel good doing this. This is one of the most important things, especially if you sit on the couch regularly and have to get up regularly. If we're trying to heave ourselves forwards all the time, we're asking those muscles to do a lot for us in a very quick amount of time, and it can actually lead to more pain if our body's not ready for it. So getting at least 10 repetitions, anywhere between 5 to 10 repetitions at a time, is going to be very helpful. And especially if you can do this 2 to 3 times a day. Work up slowly. Again, we're not flaring up pain. We're not in the business of increasing pain. We're in the business of decreasing pain, helping you feel stronger and better. So choose, like I said, at least 2 to 3 out of those 5 exercises. If those all felt okay, run with them. I want you to try to start being consistent. Get into a routine. If you do start to experience pain, try some of these first, and then you can use ice, heat. You can use other things that have worked for you in the past, TENS units, anything that helps to relieve that pain. But I do want you to give movement a chance to see if that can improve your pain, because there are a lot of times where people don't expect that movement is actually going to relieve their symptoms, and then they're very surprised when they feel less stiffness, more mobility, and less pain after just doing some really simple things. If you like this video, go ahead and click that red subscribe button below, so that way you can get updates when I do release new videos. If you're looking for a place to start on your arthritis journey and want to start relieving your pain naturally, I do have a brand new 4-day Kickstart Your Arthritis Adventure Challenge, and the link to join that is below, and it's totally free. It's just 4 workouts that are going to help you get started and get started on the right path to finding arthritis pain relief. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that these exercises are truly helpful for you. Have a great day.